Secrets of the Verdant Vale. In the lush expanse of Eldergrove, nestled between towering emerald cliffs, the summer solstice was a time of vibrant life and unexpected encounters. Among the diverse inhabitants of Eldergrove, two stood out. One was an intrepid scholar, Rowan, who spent her days cataloging the rare flora of the region. The other was Lyra, a spirited herbalist determined to uncover the truth behind her family's mysterious disappearance. Their paths first crossed in the bustling marketplace of Eldergrove, where Rowan was examining an array of colorful wildflowers. Lyra, with her striking auburn hair tied back in a messy braid, was selling herbal remedies at a nearby stall. When Rowan approached to inquire about a particularly exotic plant, she was immediately captivated by Lyra's passion for botany and the way her eyes sparkled when she spoke. Weeks later, Rowan and Lyra found themselves embarking on a journey to the hidden valleys beyond Eldergrove, rumored to be home to plants with miraculous healing properties. It was a treacherous route that wound through ancient forests and across swift rivers, but the promise of discovery urged them forward. "Are you sure we're ready for this?" Lyra asked as they packed their supplies one crisp morning, the mist clinging to the ground like a secret. Rowan smiled, her confidence unshaken. "We've prepared for this. Besides, there's something in those valleys that calls to me. Something that might help you find answers." As they journeyed deeper into the wilderness, they discovered breathtaking vistas and astonishing flora. Rowan took meticulous notes, while Lyra gathered samples for her research. Their camaraderie grew with every shared laugh and whispered secret beneath the starlit sky. One evening, as they camped near a gentle stream, Lyra gazed into the water, her expression contemplative. "Do you ever think about what lies ahead?" she asked quietly. Rowan, staring into the flickering campfire, replied, "Every day. But I'm more focused on what we can find right now. There's so much potential for discovery." Lyra turned to her, curiosity piqued. "What about your family? I mean, they must have some expectations of you." Rowan's gaze hardened for a moment. "They do. But this journey, finding these plants, it's my choice. I want to carve my own path." Lyra nodded, understanding the weight of those words. The bond between them deepened as they navigated the challenges of the wild. They shared stories of their pasts, and Lyra began to open up about her family's mysterious past, revealing bits of information that might connect her to the plants they sought. As the days turned into weeks, the landscape began to change. They found themselves at the edge of a hidden vale, the air thick with the scent of blooming flora. Lyra's heart raced. This must be it, the place of legends. The vale was alive with vibrant colors and sounds that echoed through the trees. They set to work, documenting their findings, but Lyra's mind was elsewhere. The elusive answers she sought about her family began to weave themselves into her thoughts as she uncovered strange plants, rumored to have connections to her past. "Rowan," she said one evening, her voice trembling with uncertainty, "what if we find something here that leads us to them? What if they're alive?" Rowan's expression softened, the warmth of her presence a soothing balm. "Then we'll face it together. Whatever it is, you're not alone in this." With renewed determination, they pressed on, guided by the secrets hidden within the verdant vale. The bond between them blossomed amid the perils of their adventure. The connection deepened, each moment filled with unspoken understanding. As the final days of their expedition approached, they stood at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a breathtaking panorama of the valley below. The sun dipped low, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Lyra turned to Rowan, her heart swelling with gratitude. Thank you for being here. I couldn't have done this without you. Rowan smiled, her eyes shining with sincerity. And I couldn't have asked for a better companion. As they descended into the Vale, the air thrummed with possibility. They knew the journey was far from over, but together they would uncover the mysteries that awaited, ready to face whatever lay ahead with courage and unity. Their hearts intertwined like the vines of the flowers they sought, a promise of friendship and strength, blossoming in the wilds of Eldegrove. As Rowan and Lyra made their way into the heart of the Verdant Vale, the atmosphere shifted. The air felt charged with energy, alive with the hum of nature. The lush greenery seemed to envelop them, cocooning them in a world untouched by time. Ancient trees stood like sentinels, their branches intertwined overhead, filtering the sunlight into gentle rays that danced on the forest floor. Lyra's excitement grew as they navigated the winding paths. Every step unveiled new wonders, cascading waterfalls, hidden grottos, and blooms of every hue imaginable. "Look at that!" she exclaimed, pointing to a cluster of deep violet flowers spiraling up a nearby rock face. "Those must be the rare Eloria orchids. They only bloom in this region." Rowan crouched down, her notebook in hand, sketching the delicate flowers while Lyra gathered samples. The thrill of discovery invigorated them both, and they worked in harmony, each contributing their strengths to the endeavor. "We should document everything," Rowan urged, her eyes sparkling with the joy of research. These findings could be invaluable to the field of botany. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the vale, Lyra felt a stirring within her. The landscape resonated with her desire for answers. "Rowan," she began hesitantly, "if we do find something that connects to my family, what do you think will happen?" Rowan looked up from her sketches, her expression thoughtful. "I think we'll face it together, no matter what it is. You've already shown remarkable strength, Lyra, and whatever the truth is, you deserve to know it." Encouraged by Rowan's unwavering support, Lyra continued, "I've heard whispers of a flower said to hold memories. If it exists, it might reveal what happened to my parents. It could even help me understand why they disappeared." "Then let's find it," Rowan declared, her determination shining through. "We'll track down that flower and uncover whatever secrets it holds. Together." The next morning, they set out with renewed vigor. Armed with maps and knowledge, they sought the fabled flower of memories, said to bloom only in the deepest part of the Vale. With each passing hour, they traversed terrain that became more rugged and wild, their excitement growing with the challenges they faced. As they ventured deeper, they discovered markings on the trees and faint trails, remnants of an ancient civilization long lost to time. "Look at these carvings," Lyra pointed out, running her fingers over the intricate designs etched into the bark. "They must tell a story." Rowan knelt beside her, tracing the patterns with her gaze. "It seems like a history of this place. Maybe it relates to the flower we seek." Encouraged by their discoveries, they pressed on until they reached a clearing. There at the center was a single luminous flower unlike any they had ever seen. Its petals glimmered with a surreal iridescence, shifting in colors that evoked both warmth and sorrow. "Is that?" Lyra's voice trailed off in awe. "The flower of memories," Rowan breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's breathtaking." As they approached, Lyra felt a tug in her chest, a resonance that felt familiar yet distant. She knelt beside the flower, feeling an inexplicable connection. "This is it," she whispered, her heart racing. This could lead me to the truth. With careful hands, they collected samples and made notes about the flower's surroundings, ensuring they captured every detail. What do we do now? Lyra asked, a mixture of hope and trepidation in her voice. Rowan took a deep breath. We can take this back to the village. There are elders and scholars who can help us understand its significance. They may have seen it before or know of its powers. With the flower safely packed, they began the journey back, their hearts lighter, yet filled with anticipation for the revelations that lay ahead. The return trip was punctuated by laughter and shared stories, the bond between them growing stronger with every step. As night fell, they set up camp under the starlit sky. The world around them felt alive with possibilities, and Lyra turned to Rowan. What if the flower reveals something I'm not ready to hear? What if it brings up old wounds? Rowan looked at her with unwavering support. Then we will face it together. Whatever you uncover, I'll be by your side. You don't have to carry this alone. Lyra smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. Thank you, Rowan. You've been my anchor through all of this. As they settled into their sleeping bags, Lyra felt a sense of peace wash over her. The journey had not only led her to the flower, but had also forged a profound connection with Rowan. They had become allies, navigating not just the wilderness, but the depths of their own hearts. When dawn broke, they resumed their journey back to Eldergrove, the flower of memories nestled safely among their supplies. Lyra knew that no matter what awaited them, she was ready to face it, bolstered by the strength of their friendship and the unwavering support of the one who stood by her side. The path ahead was uncertain, but together, they were ready to uncover the secrets of the past and create a future filled with hope. As Lyra and Rowan made their way back to Eldergrove, the beauty of the Vale began to fade into a distant memory, replaced by the familiar sights of their village. The winding paths felt different now, imbued with the significance of their discoveries. Each step echoed with anticipation, the flower of memories a tangible link to the past Lyra yearned to understand. Upon their return, they were greeted by curious gazes and whispers from the villagers. Word of their journey had spread, and many were eager to hear tales of their adventures. The two women shared their story with excitement, but as they spoke, Lyra felt the weight of the flower's potential revelations pressing down on her. That evening, the village elder, a wise woman named Mabel, invited them to her home. Her cottage was filled with the scents of herbs and spices, a sanctuary of warmth and knowledge. I've heard about your findings, Mabel said, her eyes twinkling. The flower of memories is a rare gift indeed. Come, share what you've discovered. As they settled in around a crackling fire, Lyra and Rowan presented the flower, its petals shimmering softly in the flickering light. Mabel studied it closely, her brow furrowing with concentration. This flower is said to have the power to reveal the past, to unearth memories that may have been lost, she explained, her voice steady yet gentle. But you must approach it with care. The truth can be both enlightening and painful. Lyra's heart raced at the prospect of uncovering the truth about her parents. What should I do? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mabel regarded her with understanding. You must prepare yourself, child. To unlock the flower's secrets, you will need to find a quiet place where you can connect with it fully. The memories it reveals will not only concern your parents, but may also touch upon your own heart. Rowan placed a reassuring hand on Lyra's shoulder. We can do this together, right? She said, her tone firm. I'll be with you every step of the way. Mabel nodded approvingly. Together you are stronger. But remember, it is essential to be open to whatever comes. The flower will guide you, but you must be ready to listen. That night, as the stars twinkled outside Mabel's window, Lyra's thoughts swirled. She felt a mix of hope and dread, her mind racing with questions. What would the flower reveal? Would she find answers, or would it lead her deeper into uncertainty? The next day, Lyra and Rowan ventured to a secluded grove at the edge of the village, a place where the whispers of the wind mingled with the rustling leaves. They chose a spot bathed in dappled sunlight, the air sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers. This felt right. Here, she could connect with the flower and the memories it held. Kneeling on the soft earth, Lyra held the flower gently in her hands. Its petals pulsed softly as if alive. Taking a deep breath, she closed her eyes and focused on the warmth radiating from the blossom. Rowan sat beside her, her presence a comforting anchor. Just breathe, Lyra, Rowan murmured. Let the flower guide you. As Lyra settled into a meditative state, she felt a rush of sensations. Images began to swirl in her mind, vivid and fragmented. She saw flashes of laughter, a child's voice calling out in joy, and then shadows looming, shifting into darkness. A wave of emotions crashed over her, and she struggled to ground herself amidst the chaos. Suddenly, a clear image emerged, a memory of her parents, standing in a sun-drenched garden, smiling at her with warmth and love. Lyra, they called, their voices echoing like music in her heart. But then the scene shifted, and she saw them fade away, replaced by the grim faces of strangers. Fear gripped her as she realized something had gone horribly wrong. Lyra gasped, jolted out of the vision. The flower trembled in her hands, and she felt tears spill down her cheeks. Rowan, take your time, Rowan whispered, her voice calm and steady. What did you see? Lyra took a moment to compose herself, wiping her tears away. I saw them, my parents. They were happy, but then there was darkness. Strangers. Something happened. Her voice trembled with uncertainty. I need to understand why. Rowan moved closer, her gaze steady. We can find the answers, Lyra. Whatever it takes, I'm here for you. With renewed determination, Lyra took a deep breath and returned to the flower, seeking more clarity. She closed her eyes again, allowing the memories to wash over her. The flower pulsed with warmth, and slowly, the images began to coalesce into a more coherent narrative. She saw a hidden path leading away from their garden, a route her parents had taken. They were gathering rare plants, their passion for botany evident. But the scene shifted abruptly to a darkened clearing where a confrontation unfolded. She could hear muffled voices, threats hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Lyra, focus. Rowan's voice cut through the haze. What do you hear? It's a warning. They were being followed. Lyra's heart raced as pieces fell into place. They knew something. They discovered something they shouldn't have. The images continued to shift, each flash revealing a glimpse of the past. A frantic search, her parents growing increasingly fearful, and then the last haunting image. Her mother clutching a precious flower, a symbol of their work, before everything went dark. I need to know where they went, Lyra breathed, desperation creeping into her voice. They were trying to protect something, and I need to find it. Rowan took a deep breath, her resolve solidifying. Then we'll trace their steps. We can find that hidden path and uncover the truth behind what they discovered. With newfound determination, Lyra nodded. She knew the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but she wasn't alone. Together, they would unravel the mystery of her parents' past and confront whatever lay ahead. The flower of memories had opened a door, and she was ready to step through it, guided by the light of the bond they shared.